It's that super no, she my flow. Yeah, it's that
RSPB calls for grouse shooting estates to be licensed. Grouse shooting estates should be licensed so that authorities have the power to ban them if birds of prey are illegally killed, the RSPB has urged, as it quit a government initiative to save the hen harrier in England. The Hen Harrier Action Plan is a Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs-led scheme in which landowners, shooting groups and conservation organizations agreed to work together to increase numbers of hen harriers in England. Despite the plan, which was launched earlier this year, just 3 pairs of hen harriers are attempting to nest on English uplands, which ecologists calculate can support more than 300 pairs. Jeff Knott, the head of nature policy for the RSPB, said, "The conclusion of a wealth of scientific evidence is that the single biggest reason why hen harriers are on the brink of extinction as a breeding bird in England is illegal persecution, illegal killing associated with land intensively managed for grouse shooting." He said the RSPB had withdrawn from cooperating with the plan because of a lack of progress in bringing back hen harriers. In 2014, no hen harriers nested in England, but numbers recovered slightly last year, with 6 successful nests from 12 breeding attempts. This year, however, there are no nests on grouse moors or privately owned shooting estates in England. In recent months, 2 satellite-tagged hen harriers vanished in mysterious circumstances. 8 red kites have been found shot or poisoned across Yorkshire, and a gamekeeper lost his job after illegal pole traps were discovered in North Yorkshire. The action plan was the result of 4 years of negotiation between shooting and conservation groups. It controversially allows for brood management, whereby hen harrier chicks are removed from nests on grouse moorland and released into lowland areas where they won't imperil lucrative game birds such as red grouse. In return for shooting estates benefiting from these relocations, the RSPB wanted better protection for hen harriers that remained in upland areas and an end to illegal persecution and the disappearance of satellite-tagged birds. The action plan has failed to deliver. "Some people will say we should give it more time, but the hen harrier doesn't have a lot of time," said Knott. "It's a dire situation and we need to see progress much more rapidly. There are around 600 pairs of hen harriers in Scotland and 50 in Wales. The RSPB says the birds have done okay in poor weather this year away from intensively managed grouse moorland. The RSPB is calling for the licensing of shooting estates, giving authorities the power to remove licenses for shoots where illegal practices are detected. We believe that this is the only way to deliver a significant shift in attitudes and potentially secure a future for their sport," said Martin Harper, the RSPB's conservation director, in a statement. Licensing systems appear to work well in most other European countries, so why not here as well? More than 64,000 people have signed wildlife campaigner Mark Avery's petition calling for driven grouse shooting to be banned. Avery, a former RSPB conservation director who has been critical of its cooperation with the shooting lobby, welcomed the group's decision to abandon the action plan. "Well done to the RSPB, but what is DFR going to do now?" he said. In her first speech as Prime Minister, Theresa May said her government was going to act for everybody and not just for powerful interest groups. This is a good test. DFR have been cuddling up to grouse shooters instead of finding a good way to conserve the hen harrier in England. DFR said it remained committed to the action plan, even without the participation of the country's biggest wildlife conservation group. A spokesperson said, "We are committed to protecting the hen harrier for future generations. That is why we took the lead on the hen harrier action plan and will continue to work with partners to secure the bird's future." The long-term plan is still at a very early stage, having been launched earlier this year, but it remains the best way to safeguard the hen harrier in England. Amanda Anderson, the director of the Moorland Association, said it was disappointed by the RSPB's decision to pull out of DFR's hen harrier action plan, and it was too early to judge the success of brood management because it had yet to be implemented. "We remain committed to seeing more harrier breeding on more grouse moors and will continue to work with partners," said Anderson. "We wish to reiterate our total abhorrence of any act of wildlife crime and support of prosecutions." Charlie Moores of Birders Against Wildlife Crime said the action plan had no credibility without the RSPB's participation. Driven grouse shooting, with its dependency on having artificially high numbers of red grouse presented to the guns, seemingly cannot exist without high levels of wildlife crime, said Moores. "If they can't run the industry without crime at the heart of it, they shouldn't be allowed to continue." The British Association for Shooting and Conservation, BASC, said the RSPB had abandoned the recovery plan before its success could be accurately assessed. It also rejected claims that licensing grouse moors will benefit hen harriers. BASC chairman Peter Glenzer said, "It is easy to blame grouse moors and gamekeepers, rather than considering other impact factors, such as disturbance and climate. Nothing is achieved by targeting one particular group and attempting to place all the blame on their shoulders. There are already effective procedures in place to deal with the states which breach regulations. There is no need for more licensing."